So my first question, and I'll bring this to you first, Andrew, is what do you think it actually means to be a high-performing assistant?
I think as far as a high performing assistant goes, I think it's multifaceted. First off, I think you innately have to have a drive and a love for what you do. I think that's first and probably one of the most important. Secondly, I think you have to have a need and desire to really understand the ins and outs of the business in which you're operating. At Reddit, that means understanding, all that goes into the platform, understanding the business side in terms of the partnerships that Reddit deals with, really kind of having your finger on the pulse of what's going on. The other thing that I would point out is I really do think having a process that allows you to function optimally is key to being a high performing assistant. And obviously that'll be different for each individual, but it is important to understand how you work, how your executive works, and be able to adapt on the fly. Not every situation will require the same strategy, the same thought process. So just being able, understanding the need to, first of all, pivot your thought process and your actions accordingly, but also being able to do that in a very fluid way that gives your executive a sense and a confidence that their affairs are in a safe pair of hands.
And we'll absolutely come on to how you do that, but that's a fantastic summary. Thanks, Andrew. I could see you nodding along there, Pam. Does that resonate with you?
It really does. I agreed with so many things that Andrew said, and I think from my perspective, I would underscore, highlight everything that Andrew just said. And for me, I think being a high-performing assistant has two buckets. So there is the bucket of what it means to you as an individual, what do you want to bring to any role that you come into, and then also what does it mean for the business that you support to be a high-performing assistant. And so that first piece, I think everything that Andrew said, I think really is a thought question for the first part. The second part, I think, is a conversation that needs to be had from the very beginning of your relationship with a role. From the interview process onward, really trying to home in with the executive you support and with the business leaders and your peers at the business. What does it mean to be a high-performing assistant here? And understanding that is also extremely helpful, I think.
Yeah, because it means different things to different people, doesn't it? I so agree with you there. The skills and competencies you have to be flexible in your day-to-day work, but actually you have to be flexible in the role in general. Don't you? And your skills and competencies differ depending on the industry you work in, the executive you work with. Even when you work with multiple executives, the strategies that you use for each one are going to be quite different, I would imagine. And high performance may mean one thing to that executive and something to something else. So you have to be super flexible when you work for multiple executives in that sense.